So today's reading from the Torah moves us now forward a generation. We've been listening to the stories of Jacob the heel, the one with the stolen birthright, the angelic ladder and the twisted hip. Well, Jacob is now old and well and truly married with kids, having married Leah and Rachel and having fathered yet more children from his concubines Bilhah and Zilpah, so that his family now numbers 12 boys and at least one daughter. So it seems then, doesn't it, that God's promise of progeny, of nationhood to Jacob's grandfather Abraham way back when in Genesis 12 is now finally accomplished. Like any good soap opera or novel or drama or life for that matter, we know that's going to change as these 12 boys take on the family business. Trouble is a brewing. So I invite you, let's listen to the next episode in the Tales from the Torah as we find it in the 37th chapter of Genesis. And what I'm going to share with you now is a close paraphrase. So a story.
Let it come, let it go.
Jacob, now called Israel, settled down in the land where his father Isaac had once lived as an alien, the land of Canaan. And this is the story of the descendants of Jacob, now called Israel. Joseph, the 11th of 12 boys, being 17 years old, was shepherding the flock, helping his half-brothers Dan, Naphtali, Gad, and Asher. Who knows why, but Joseph couldn't resist tattling on them, running to his father to report all of their shortcomings. Now you need to know that Jacob, Israel, loved Joseph more than the rest of his children. He was the son of his old age, the firstborn of his true love Rachel. Jacob even made this boy a majestic coat, a splendid robe with long sleeves and many colors. Now you can imagine that this blatant favoritism for this teenager did not go over well with Joseph's older brothers, and they would not speak a word of peace to him. It didn't help matters when Joseph had a dream. Two, actually, where his brothers and even his parents bowed down in homage to him. And when Joseph told his family of these dreams, well, you can imagine the brothers hated him even more, and even his father was angry and perturbed. Now it came to pass that the brothers led the family flocks to pasture down near Shechem. And Jacob decided to send favorite son Joseph after them to bring him back a report on their goings-on. So off went Joseph from Hebron down to Shechem, wearing his spectacular coat. But not finding them near the town, he asked around and discovered that they had moved the flocks down to Dothan, which is on that north-south highway. Joseph followed their track. Cue sinister music. The brothers could see him coming from quite a distance, and before he reached them, they caused deceit among themselves and convinced each other it would be okay to kill him. "Look at him," they said to one another. "Here he comes, the master dreamer. Let's kill him, and let's throw his body into one of the cisterns, and we can tell our father that some vicious animal devoured him, and then we shall see what comes of his dreams." Reuben, the oldest, wasn't so keen on murder, so he said instead, "Let's not kill him, let's not shed his blood, but just leave him in the pit." Now Reuben thought that he might later be able to rescue Joseph and restore him to his father and gain favor by doing so. So as Joseph came near, the brothers grabbed him and they stripped him of that blessed coat and they threw him into the pit. It's a cistern that was empty of water, so he wouldn't drown, but neither would he be able to slake his desert thirst. After they'd done this, the brothers sat down to eat. And as they were doing so, a caravan of Ishmaelite traders approached with camels carrying gum and resin and balm from Gilead to trade down in Egypt. Judah said to his brothers, "Listen, there's no gain to us if we kill Joseph and cover his blood with a story. Why don't we sell him to these traders? After all, he is our own flesh, our own brother." And the others agreed. As they were busy plotting, though, some Midianite merchantmen also arrived, and they pulled Joseph up from the cistern, and they sold him to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver, and then he was taken down to Egypt as a slave. And the rest is for next week. This is the witness, the testimony of ancient Israel.
Thanks be to God.